Good evening guys and welcome back finally to Tokyo Dark, a game I've started a while back actually. It's been quite some time. Never got to finishing it because, you know, stuff came in the way like game design videos and all that. I am finally back. I think we should be nearing the end. I really cannot wait to see how this adventure ends. It's one of those games that I've surprisingly enjoyed despite it not being mainstream or anything. Not that that's a requirement for me to enjoy a game. Anyways, let's continue. Okay, I'm not going to lie, I do have a bit of a problem recalling what the fuck just happened. Or like what the hell happened last time we played. It's been a couple weeks. Inside is the interior of a traditional tea shop, but it doesn't look like anyone's been there recently. I apologize if I go over something twice. I remember we bought the octopus balls and they were delicious. So I'm not gonna do that again. What's up here? Looks like the dojo I was looking for. It was a very... Oh, wait. Entering the dojo again. What are you doing here? Did she make you come? It's not like that, Takeshi. It was my idea. I asked her to come talk to you, but you sent her away. This woman almost got you killed. You expect me to cooperate with her? But she was being held hostage with a knife to her neck. I shot the assailant. I shot the attacker. What the fuck are you mad at? Surely if you need to talk to me, you can come yourself. My sister doesn't need to be involved. No, if I came alone, you just evade all my questions like you always do. Besides, there's something I need you to see. Whoa, that's creepy. See what? What are you talking about? Where did you get that? Put it away. So you do know what it is. I knew you were hiding something from me. That's not true. I wasn't hiding it. It's not something you ever needed to know about. Besides, why is she carrying it in the first place? What? I mean, wait. Don't change the subject. This isn't about Ito. Mai, I understand that you're upset with me, but we should talk about this another time. Furthermore, that mask has nothing to do with you. You're wrong. Back in April when May was held at knife point by another girl, it was this mask she was after. A mask your family is connected to. Looking for it? I suppose I've been a fool to think I could keep the truth of our family's past away from you. The past? Does this have to do with mom and dad? Yes, and so much more. I first saw the mask when I was a child, before you were born. Truth is, it belonged to a cult called Kemenkai, of which our parents were members. A cult? You're kidding. How'd your parents get mixed up in that? I know how it sounds. I find it hard to believe myself. They were a group led by a guru named Takimasa, who promised a simpler life away from the hypocrisy and falseness of city life. Our parents both had master's degrees and my mother was on her way to earning her PhD. Gee, way to brag, dude. They chose to give up their lives and their carriers to follow some mystic and live on a compound instead. The Kamikai were one of many such groups back then. I was a child and didn't understand, but thinking about how our parents were deceived and what they put me and Mai through, it's unforgivable. The mask was on the compound, but what purpose or what they believe it could do, I do not know. Do you think there are any members of the Kamikai left who'd know? No. You see, there are no surviving members. They died, all of them, including our parents. I'm sorry, I don't remember much about it. One night, Grandma came into the room where we were sleeping, saying we had to go. The compound was in the woods, so it was dark and I could barely see, but she kept charging forward with Mai in her arms, and me dragging behind. When we were back in Tokyo several days later, Grandma told me that our parents were dead. She didn't seem sad. It was as if though she expected it. The government censored much of what happened, so I was never able to learn how they died. Me and Grandma didn't speak of it, ignoring it as if my childhood and everything that happened in those woods was all a bad dream. If it weren't for her, we'd probably be dead with our parents, but ignoring it couldn't erase the anger I felt towards them. I wonder if they ever even cared about what might happen to us. As a high schooler, I spent more time trying to find out about the Kamikai than I did studying. I thought that if I could understand why my parents so willingly gave up their lives and abandoned us, I'd stop feeling so betrayed. But I was wrong. Nothing I found gave me any peace. Mom and Dad died as part of some cult? I don't believe it. It's true. I'm sorry I didn't tell you sooner. I guess that in hiding it from you, I was able to hide away my feelings as well. Save for Grandma, it was too painful to talk about. I believe she took possession of the shrine in order to live a simpler life. We had to keep it secret. There's no way we could live a normal life with the stigma of the Kamikai attached to us. I suppose keeping that secret hurts us both dearly. For me, pursuing Kendo gave me some measure of control over my life again. But Grandma, who made the choice to leave her only daughter behind, she always seemed to carry the guilt of it with her. She started going out at night, babbling about how she was looking for Mom. When she'd come home, she would have a rotten stink on her clothes. I was too scared to confront her, so I tipped off the police. They found her wandering in the sewers holding nothing but the mask. Same one from the cult compound all those years before, and the one you hold now. I was shocked when they gave it to me. I hadn't seen it for so long, and all the unpleasant memories from the past came flooding back. That was when I decided to leave Kamakura. It was the only way I could move on with my life. That doesn't account for how the mask ended up with your grandmother in the first place. I don't know how she got it. It seemingly appeared out of thin air, or maybe someone gave it to her. She never said. I left the mask with her. It always made me uneasy. It had a strange aura around it. You could say that again. Wait, Grandma was looking for Mom? In the sewers? I don't remember any of this. You were in the dorms at your school at the time. Grandma's strange behavior was part of why I insisted on you going to these private schools away from Kamakura. I couldn't drag you into the madness of our past. We parted ways without ever speaking of it, and she was much better by the time we returned to Kamakura. Detective, what exactly is it that you're looking for? Surely our family's history isn't of any use to you. I assume you've heard of what happened to my partner. His mask was there again when he died. It's more than an ornament. I need to know where it came from. If that's true, then I want to help. Your partner, he seemed like a nice person. No, you've helped plenty, but I have to do this on my own. Ito is right. I apologize for not letting you know all this sooner. You can't be involved in something so dangerous. I already thought I lost you that day at the shrine. I wouldn't forgive myself if something happened to you. Right, thank you for finally telling me the truth. I'll head back for now. Hope you remember that I'm your sister. I may not remember the same things you do, but we're still family. I'll see you guys later. Thank you for your help, Mai. She was actually really helpful. You're right, Mai. I'll come visit you soon. Looks like she's gone. There's no need to be coy. No doubt taking possessions of that mask has taken its toll on you. Even in the brief time I was in contact with it, I felt an immense darkness behind it. I had such strange dreams and saw things I never would have dreamed up in my own. There was always an unusual air about it. I couldn't stand to be around. Maybe lying to Mai again makes me a hypocrite. All I know is I don't want her getting hurt. But like you said, I don't believe the mask is simply wooden paint, though I doubt anyone else would believe us. No one ever did, except for one man. On this street there's an old tea shop. Perhaps you saw it on the way in? An old historian named Yashihira is there occasionally. He was the only one who ever acknowledged what I said about the mask as truth. If you're looking for information, he may be the best person to ask. I never pursued the topic with him, but I speak with him occasionally on other topics. His mind is a vault of valuable information. Hopefully he can shed some light on what it really is. Hope so, but please, detective, be careful. Wow, that was a long conversation and we learned a lot. But it's actually not that useful to us, aside from the old man at the tea shop. Welcome, come in. Do sit down. No need to be so formal and stand there like a statue. How can I help you? Are you Yashihira? Takashi told me to come speak with you. Ooh, and how is Mr. Kawana? Still prickly as ever, I suppose? I've always found him to be wise beyond his years, though perhaps not by choice. I digress. My apologies. It's the quirks that come with old age, you know. What does Mr. Kawana think I can help you with? I'm looking into a few things related to the Kamikai, the group his family got mixed up in. Ah, a more difficult task than you might expect. You see, there are two groups that share that name. The first, as you know, is the religious group formed by the Guru Tokimasa. Second is an ancient order, over 1,000 years old. Oh my god, every time it appears, it like mini jump scares me. What's that you're holding? I was told it's related to the Kamikai, the newer one, and that you could tell me about it. Ah, that explains so many things, child. The far off look in your eyes for one. I imagine you have many questions. Masks are interesting, are they not? They are meant to be disguised, and yet a mask cannot lie or contort itself to hide the truth. That's an interesting way to look at it. In that sense, it is the mask that is more truthful than the human faces we hide underneath them. I wonder how you came to be in possession of an object with such a dark history. I think it might be related to the missing person. I don't know anything about it beyond that. But that is itself the essence of history, layers upon layers of personal connections that are continuously peeled back to their root. Relics like this one you hold often take unusual routes to where they end up. A relic. If it's from the Kamakuran cult from the 90s, then I hardly call it a relic. Misguided and deceptive as he was, Tokimasa was no fool. In order to gain new followers, he needed to give his cult historical legitimacy. He collected obscure objects and gave them new meanings that he could control in order to manipulate his followers. The mask was what he chose, along with the name of the group that created it. Interesting, isn't it? Yeah, I guess so, only I guess I was hoping you could tell me some other things about it. But he's telling you so much, gee. Fair enough. For instance, why... now that I'm about to say it out loud, it sounds really silly. I'm sorry to bother you. Don't be silly. You wonder, for example, why holding the mask seems to take you to another place? Or perhaps why you can see the visions that don't seem real? Why you feel a strong will exerting itself on you? Oh yes, I know all about those things too. How could you possibly know about that? When Tokimasa was in possession of it, he believed it showed him a path to the realm of the gods. He wrote extensively on the subject. Though unlike most, I don't discount such phenomena as the ravings of a madman when the phenomena repeats itself. Do you too look into the icky blackness and see familiar shapes in the shadows? Inky. Not shadows. I see and hear people who are supposed to be dead. They find things they couldn't possibly have found otherwise. Most interesting. Tell me, detective. Oh, apologies. Do you mind if I call you that? I don't remember telling you that I was a detective. Ha! My mistake. You must forgive me. A slip of the tongue. I believe it was the way you carried yourself. Determined investigators such as yourself have a sense of purpose in their mannerisms, you see? And you do seem rather determined to get to the bottom of whatever it is you're chasing. Tell me, does me telling you that your experiences are not an illusion provide you any level of comfort? I guess sort of, but not really. You know that kind of feeling? I'm not sure, but I do feel something. Maybe hope. It's like I finally got a foothold on solid ground. Yes, knowledge is a light in dark places, is it not? Do you think a relic of such importance would end up with a detective? Do you mind if I ask you something? Which do you believe? Are our lives controlled by fate, premature threads that determine our deeds, our wishes and our ends the minute we come into existence? Or conversely, is our threat subject to the chaos inherent in our universe instead? Does it change according to our deeds and that which happens to us seemingly by accident? Do you believe it is fate or chance that decides which threads of life are cut short and which are followed? I believe it's chance. I personally don't believe in fate. Just gonna put that out there. I think it's kind of a dumb idea to think of. I mean, fate is pretty much chance, right? Just believe you have a good fate, yeah. Yeah, I believe in chance. Yes, of course. Maybe you feel your life has been somewhat out of your control as of late. Control, huh? To be honest, I don't feel like I've ever had much of that since the mask came to me. You said that the mask was made by the old Kamikai. Why? Confusing me can't be the purpose it was made for. A more complicated answer than you might have wished for. Indeed, it should come as no surprise that the creation of such a mysterious object is equally enigmatic. Perhaps you could do me a favor. Don't worry, it is in relation to this very topic. An important book has gone missing from my shop. If you could retrieve it for me, I feel it could shine a great deal of light on the subject. What kind of book? A book of the missing variety. I'm sorry, I jest. It concerns the mask bearer. Mask bearer? Huh, that's me, right? Although you carry it, that does not make you its bearer. All will become clear when the book is returned to me. Sounds easy enough. Where can I start looking? Oh, you needn't go far. The man who has it is right outside this building. In fact, as I said, it's not much of an errand. But I, of course, cannot leave my shop. It's right outside. Well, this won't take long. I'll be right back. Wait, is it the dude selling the octopus balls? Yes. The old tea shop next door. Isn't that place closed down? Closed? That can't be right. What else do you know about it? Pure conjecture on this one, but I think it might be owned by the kendo instructor from the dojo down the street, on account of him being the only one I ever see in there. You might not believe me, but I swear I saw him in there chatting away to himself. Possibly he's a little nuts. Then again, might be some super awesome kendo meditation technique. Aw man, why didn't I think of that before? Next time I ought to ask him for some pointers instead of spying on him, eh? Word though, the grapevine is that he's regional champion or something and has trained some of the best. Lots of cops train with him too, so he must be good. Maybe he's not so crazy after all. Speaking of which, I have a bit of a crazy question for you. I know you said it was closed, but do you know anything about that book taken from there? Maybe recently? I was led to believe you would. And, oh jeez. Go on. Like I said, the place has been empty for years, but you know, I spent a lot of time outside and half the time the door is wide open. So one day a few months back, I decided to take a look around. Nothing suspicious or nothing. I was just curious is all. Curious to kill the cat, right? Anyway, it was all dusty and all, and there was all sorts of weird stuff laying around. I might have taken a little souvenir. I mean, it wasn't super old or anything. Figured no one would miss it. Besides, it wasn't for me. It was for my kid brother. The guy can get deep in the dumps sometimes, so I try to be on standby for when that happens, you know? Figured a little gift would cheer him up. And back then, he was going through some particularly tough times. His bitch wife, pardon my language, miss, had left him and taken their kid daughter with him. Still doesn't talk about it, like he's in denial or something. Got off track again. I was heading to visit him with the ill-gotten book when I got this phone call saying he was in the hospital. He OD'd an expensive sake and sleeping pills. Thank God that idiot decided to do it at the bar he owns with the door unlocked. Customer came in and called an ambulance. If it weren't for that, I'm not sure he'd still be here. Oh, that's quite a story. Sounds to me like he wanted to be found. Yeah, I think so too. I think he was trying to ask for help in his own way. Suicide, that's the best kind of asking. I took the book to him while he was in the hospital. Tried to show him that even when he was at his lowest, there was someone out there trying to do something nice for him, you know? I think it helped for a minute anyhow. As soon as the doctors let him leave, he went right back to that toxic little bar. Hope he's okay. He's got issues, but he's my little brother, and I worry about him. He's not been answering my phone calls lately. Oh, he's dead. Originally, his bitch ex-wife, sorry again, had the brilliant idea to put his skill to work in a cheap part of town. Despite that, he's holding on to it with everything he's got. The place is slowly bankrupting him, but he won't let it go. All he has to do is sign some paper and move on, but he can't. Something about it has its claws sinking deep into him. I tried to get him to join me in my business for years. He's a great chef. We could make a killing. Maybe it's not the same as owning a whole bar, but serving passersby and getting some sunshine is good for the soul. Plus, food stands are doing really well abroad here. Much better than wasting away in Shinjuku at any rate. Shinjuku? Yeah, in a slimy little side street. Anyway, if that book is so important to you, you probably still got it on this place. You want the address? Wait, I knew you looked familiar. Your brother's Daiso, right? Oh, it's the dude owning... Yeah, that's right. You know him? Small world. It's probably the smile on my face that threw you off. Yeah, he's never smiling. Tell him his brother Haruto says hi. While you read it, tell him that takoyashi stands are still the future of cuisine, and to get his butter over here. I'll do that. Thanks for your help. Jesus Christ, this is a dialogue-heavy episode, but we're progressing. So let's go to Shinjuku. This is probably it, right? Yeah, here he is. Hi, Yami, how can I help you today? Hi, these are hard things. Hey, you know, same old, same old. Funny thing, I met your brother while I was in Asakusa today. Haruto, you met Haruto? What are the chances? Who knows? It's pretty random. Huh, who'd have thought? So he's still selling takoyashi at his stand? He say anything? He is. He said to remind you that takoyashi stands are the future of cuisine and that you should go and help him. Yeah, he talked to Haruto, alright. Yeah, always the optimist, that guy. Actually, I have a favor to ask you. Do you still have the book your brother gave you a few months ago? The only thing the guy gives me is headaches. I'm not sure if I can help you, Ayami. He said he gave it to you while you were in the hospital. Oh, yeah. What makes you think I was in the hospital? I didn't even go. Don't even go to the hospital for checkups. Besides, that doll's bringing me stuff all the time. Was trying to drag me, kicking, and screaming over to where the grass is greener. This would have been more recently, after a rough patch. Maybe it was stupid to come and ask. Oh, no, it's fine. That idiot, always running his mouth. Freaking traitor. Those were just some hard times. Nothing serious. I just drank too much is all. I'm sorry, detective, but I don't want to talk about it. Alright, understood. I'm not here to dig up bad memories. You said you were looking for a book, right? Truth is, I don't remember a book. I do remember Haruto giving me an old magazine though. Back in the hospital. It was one of those I used to read when I was younger. When things weren't quite so complicated. Wait a second. I may have it in the storeroom still. Dang it, hold on a sec. Amazing how much junk someone accumulates over the years. Maybe I should throw some of the old stuff out. Here it is. It's yours, detective. Oh boy. Okay. That's interesting. Huh. No wonder I recognized the photo you brought by. It's the same girl. Ruby. Reina. No, so Ruby, you see? It says that right there on the cover. Pretty crazy that it was still in my shop. That means you're still looking for her. Damn. Wonder why we keep running into each other. We're lucky, I guess. I had him buy it. You're a hell of a detective. You must have a pretty sharp nose. If you say so, Daiso. Do you mind if I take this? Like I said, it's yours. About time I started getting rid of some of my old junk. Thank you. See you around, Ayami. Take care, Daiso. Okay, awesome. We're going pretty good so far. Let's bring it back to the shop. Welcome back, detective. Is that my book I see in your hands? Yes, I'm a little surprised. Are you trying to tell me Reina is the mask bearer you talked about? It's hard to believe. Does it surprise you? After all, it is she who you see in the dark, is it not? The dark. That's what the collector called it too. How did Reina get tied up in all this? I only know that somehow the girl's path and the masks collided, as if by chance. What circumstances led to this intersection are a mystery, I'm afraid. People always see history as something in the distant past, involving all men and black and white pictures, but that book and that girl are as much a part of history as the rest. The threads that connect the past to the present, and people to each other, are not always apparent. But peel back the layers of connection and the randomness of our universe neatly orders itself. Teen Idol, an ancient order, the tool they created, and the detective who holds it now, all forming a neat and tidy line. Reina was some sort of idol living in Tokyo, not part of a sleeper cell or some cult. It doesn't add up. On that, detective, we can agree. So why don't we start at the beginning? To how the mask ceased to be a mere object. Story starts in ancient times, in the year 1333. At that time, Kamakura was the capital of Japan. Led by the Hojo clan, It was a time of peace, prosperity, and enlightenment. Peace among men is cyclical. And like so many before them, and so many after, their time of peace came to an end. The Nita clan, loyal to Emperor Go-Daigyo, led a siege against the Hojo-controlled Kamakura, taking the city as tide receded, leaving a key passage open to the invaders. Hojo clan fled to the caves of their family temple. For them, there was no hope of victory or escape. They chose to retain their honor. Instead of surrendering, the 870 samurai, including the last 3 regents, committed mass suicide. However, Hojo and Nita clans, embroiled in their quest for empire, could not see the role they played in the plans of another group, the religious sect known as the Kamikai. It is said that in the flames of Kamakura, a girl was seen wandering the streets, observing the carnage of the burning city. A girl lost to the histories by the name of Chikako Shinchio, the last survivor of the Kamikai. So, whatever the Kamikai were trying to do, well, they failed. I mean, they all died, right? They did not fail. Everything went exactly as planned. Shinchijou did not survive by chance. She was chosen. For what? To receive the blessing of all the spiritual energy that so much death afforded. To become the first mask bearer. The Kamikai used the deaths of all those people to create this? Why? Legend has it that the Kamikai sought to contain the door, a rift leading to the spiritual realm, where our consciousness ceases to be, and time holds no meaning. A place where cause and effect could be changed. Why? Why spend so much human life and give up so much to do that? Stop it from being abused. Imagine being able to see the world as a god, so that the flow of time and the rules which govern our world are of no consequence. This is the power of the door. To a mortal mind, obsessed with the finality of death and meaningless accomplishment, such power would corrupt absolutely, a power over death. So a dark place was created to obscure the door and hide it from mortal eyes, along with a tool to control and see within the darkness. It's true, all of it. Sounds like a fairy tale, but it's true. Finding the door could be the key to bringing Tanaka back. Some doors, no matter how strong they call to us, are not meant to be opened. And the Kamikai willingly gave their lives to keep it that way. The mask opens the mind to all who come in contact with it, but is intended for its bearer. Using it to find the door may destroy you. Maybe you're right, but I could at least use it to find my way in the dark, just like the collector said. The only thing I don't get is how the Ina is connected to this. That is a mystery. As Mr. Kawana told you, the last known location of the mask was the Kamikai cult only a few decades ago. Much was suppressed about the Kamikai under Takemasa. They existed, and then on 4th of March 1996, they met their end. There were many theories what the police killed them during their raid, or the compound, or that someone within the cult had snapped and murdered the others. Nothing but conjecture, I'm afraid. The real answer lies somewhere deep within police records, and, for all that remain curious, it is not something I have access to. Perhaps the best place to start is there. Finding out about the last days of Kamikai might help you light your path to the truth, but I wonder if such an object bred from suffering can truly put an end to it. It is you going to finally break the terrible cycle? Nah, it's been a long time here. I'm tired, so tired. Farewell, detective. Wow. Well, if that wasn't just exposition central. Sitting there comfortably, the historian casually laid out everything that I've experienced like he was reading it out of a book. I know, right? How to get the plot moving, 2.2. Mass suicide, ancient groups, door to the spiritual realm. Sounds like a myth, an interesting story told to travelers by a bygone era. It's hard to believe it relates to Katsuki and Reina. I can't see it. The bridge between the Kamakura samurai and a young girl. He said Reina fit into the story. She's a mask bearer. But how? The collector. I thought when I met them, I entered the world and could start to understand, however faintly, when my intuition as a detective tells me they're hiding something from me still. Maybe I'm overthinking it. I need to stop. I need to keep going. What day is it anyway? How long have I been chasing these leads? Day turns to night, hours bleed into each other, even the seasons don't seem to follow natural order anymore. Everything's blurring together. Oh, my head. Maybe I should take my medication? Impossible as it seems, following the old man's hunch is my best bet to finally understanding the mask. Even Takashi didn't know what happened to Kaminkai. Finding the police report is the way forward. A few weeks ago, it would have been easy for me. It's been a bit more difficult now, I imagine. It will be. It's the worst that can happen. Should head to police HQ and see what I can find. And we are going to head there in the next episode, guys. It's still not over. It looks like we have quite a bunch more story to tackle, which is interesting because I really thought we were nearing the end. But it's definitely coming down to something interesting. A cult, mass suicide, and a mask driven by just death. It definitely sounds interesting, and I cannot wait to play more of this. Anyways, guys, we're gonna continue this adventure another day. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure to check back in for more, and I'll make sure to do more. I wish you all a beautiful rest of this cloudy evening, and I'm gonna see all of you in the next video I make. Bye bye.